You are watching Yogi Dave's Hobby Corner. Happy hobby. Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of Yogi Dave's Hobby Corner. So today I will be talking about Battletech. So Battletech is a game I have been playing for a very long time. It's one of the few games I do in competition. As I talk, there is actually the Welsh Nationals that I couldn't get down to this year because I didn't have the money and other things are going on at home. This for one. So Battletech is a game of mix. If you haven't seen it before, haven't played it before, that is a nutshell. It's a game about mechs. You can play it on a hex map board game, make it a board game basically. Or you can play it on a battle board, like you do 40k. Or Warhammer, or whatever you play. And it's a very different game, either way. Competition stuff's all done on hex maps to make it easier for everyone. But I prefer, for reasons that I want to, the terrain and everything. So I've been playing since just after they started releasing the clan stuff. Now, in it, in the canon, there are the successor states. So you've got the Draconis Combine, which is what I play. You've got the Federated Commonwealth, or not, Federated Sons, or Federated Commonwealth, depending on which era you play. The Lyran Commonwealth, again, depending on what period you play. Free World Leagues and Compelling Confederation, they're the successor states. And then you've got Comstar, who are basically the guys in charge of the communications network for the entire of what is called the centre of human civilization, which is the inner sphere, which is what the successor states all command, basically. Comstar are based on Earth, or Terra, which is not commanded, is not ruled by anyone in the successor states. Basically what happened was there was the Star League, and all these successor states were part of the Star League. The Terran hegemony was part of that as well. So Star League was ruled by basically the Lord of the Star League, which was a family that dated back to when it started. It was what basically loosely held together human civilization. Not completely, but loosely. Had its own army. All successor states all had their own armies, but the Star League army was huge compared to everyone else. Basically, as what happens in all these kinds of things, all this kind of canon and what have you, the last Star Lord of this family died was assassinated, basically, and the leader of the Star League army upped sticks and fucked off. Alexander Kerensky. So when that happened, you had the succession wars, which is why the states are called the successor states, because there was a series of succession wars, 4 serious other border skirmishes and what have you, and then the clans appeared. Now the clans are basically the successors to the Star League army. So Alexander Kerensky's vision for the future was the clans. Clans had better mix than the successor states, because basically they had lost so much history and ability to build and maintain various mechs. So when you get, there's a whole load of backstory to it. It's very, very rich, which is one of the things I enjoy about the game. But there's also the gameplay. So the gameplay, at some point I will have a battle report of the game, and you can see how the game runs. So you have your mechs, or your aerospace fighters, infantry, tanks. There's even ships, like spaceships and Z-ships. Yeah, so you either have one of these various bits of tech, or you have combined arms. Now, mostly what I play is with mechs. Do a bit of combined arms, but not a huge amount of combined arms. So generally what we play is single lance, so that's 4 mechs. 4 mechs. Or if you're doing clans, it's a star. So a star is 5 mechs. And you might have a star of battle armor as well when you're playing with clans, which is basically their version of Space Marines. Space Marine armor rather than Space Marines. The thing with the clans is the vast majority of the warriors and the frontline forces are genetically born. They're not born from when they're called trueborn or trueborns by everyone else. And then you get freeborn, who are basically your mech warriors and all the rest of that kind of stuff that have been born to in the normal way, and they become the chaff and the backline guys for the clan armies. Yeah, so you've got your record sheet. So it's a sheet with all your weapons, all your armour. So on a record sheet it's got an outline of a mech. I can't remember which mech it is that's in most of them, but basically it's got a dot for each of your armour points, and then a dot for each internal structure. So every time you take damage, you start taking bits off that. So, you know, it's got your weapons, it's got like the amount of heat you can dissipate, because that can be important. Trust me, it can be very important. All your internal structure, all the stuff you need to play the game, basically, with that particular mech. So you've got your 4 mechs in front of you, your opponent's got his 4 mechs in front of him, and you start rolling dice to see who goes first. So you move. So I'll move, if I win initiative, my opponent moves one of his mechs, I want to move one of my mechs, he moves. And you fire. So fire is all simultaneous. So you declare what firing you're going to do at the beginning of the turn, the beginning of the firing phase. So the person who, that's the way it's meant to run anyway. Person who has the initiative just says, right, I'm firing my guns, these guns at this person, these guns at that person, from each mech. And then the other person says, well, I'm firing these guns and these guns. So the person with initiative rolls to hit, to wound, to hit, sorry. And if you hit a location, you roll the location, there's a table for that, and then your opponent takes damage off that location. If it goes into the internal structure, you roll dice to see if you get a critical hit, because that could damage a location. So it could damage a gun, it could damage engine, yeah, which is bad. Trust me, nothing worse. No, there's very few things worse than getting your engine damaged very early on, because it screws you up. And on the side of it, you've got your heat. So you've got heat sinks to dissipate your heat. If you use, all your weapons use up heat, all your movement, all your jumping, because you get jump outs and some of the mechs. All this, builds heat up. And if you don't have enough heat to dissipate it, there's a heat table, and that has adverse effects to what you want to do with your mechs. So, why I enjoy this game is it's quite tactical, and it's quite enjoyable, as long as you're playing with the right people. There are people that I've played where I've just gone, I really don't want to play with you ever again, but I have had to play in competitions against them. The less said about that, the better. But it's fun. The reason that I enjoy playing on the terrain more than I enjoy playing on hex maps is on terrain you can see where line of sight's being blocked. You have to look at the map and go, well, I'm being blocked here or I'm being blocked there. It's not as easy to do. It's more of a convenience thing, the terrain, rather than the hex maps, because it doesn't slow up things. You can see where you get line of sight. You can see where your part of your figure's being blocked, so only part of that figure can be hit. So you've got hit modifiers, or just that kind of thing. So that's why I enjoy that. I probably have over 200 mechs right now, so you can see I do enjoy it a lot. Thing is, the paint job on them annoys the crap out of me, so I'm going to strip them and repaint them at some point. So you will see tutorials of me doing Draconis Combine paint schemes, Federate Sun paint schemes, like Commonwealth game paint schemes, Free Worlds League, Comstar, and various others. That's going to be part of the channel at some point. So the company that does Battletech now is called Catalyst Game Labs. Now they are just about to release a new edition of the box set. So keep an eye on that if you want to play the game, want to learn more about the game. Once we've done some battle reports, it'll probably be in November. I'll do the battle report because that's the next time I've got planned to play it. So early on in November, I think I'm going to do a battle report for it. So Catalyst Game Labs is the company that do it now. They are about to release a new version, as I said. So in the UK, the stockists are RAL part of Europe. So you get everything from them. So you get the books, the box game, all the mechs, because mechs in the box game are not great plastic. I'll say that right away. It's not a great plastic, but you can buy metal mechs for £4 or £5, I think, in the UK. I think they're about $16 in the US, from Iron Wind Metals, which is the company that does the casting of everything. In the US, I think that's where you buy everything. Outside of, I'm not sure what the Asian stockists are, the Australian stockists, South American stockists. I couldn't tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you where they are. But yeah, I think all the things to talk about. I think that's about it for Battletech at the moment. Obviously, I'll put up a battle report, and you can see how the game plays, and you can decide whether you want to play it. And I'll put links to everything up at some point. I'll probably put them up with the battle report. I'll put the links to Royal Path of Europe and Iron Metals and Catalyst Game Labs on the YouTube video that I do of the battle report. And I might even I'll probably put them on this one as well. So I'm going to say goodbye and happy hobby. Have a good day. How are you doing, folks? As you can probably tell from the fact that I'm dressed very differently from what I was in the rest of the video. This was recorded maybe almost a week later. Essentially, I found that I had a box. The previous box set for Battletech. And rather than waiting till I've got time to strip the other ones and, clean them up, clean them off, because I need to, like you do with resin, try and get the release agent, you have to get rid of all the methylated spirits before you start painting again, because they'll just strip again. Basically, it was like, well, I've got this box, why not just use it to do mechs? I think there's a clan mech in there, so that may be interesting to paint. I'll paint it in Clan Wolf Calls, or Clan Jeed Falcon, because it's really I think it was a Loki, so from what I understand, the Loki's more a Falcon mech. And I'll paint the other ones in like Draconis Combine, Federated Suns, all the other ones. The thing is, most of the, well, at least the Solder Light units in Draconis Combine are red. Red's a difficult colour for some people to do. Comstar are all white, so white's another one that's quite difficult to do. They'll send that the Genyosha for the Ryokan and Draconis Combine are black and grey, so grey and black. So they are kind of difficult to paint. But there are paint schemes that are traditionally quite difficult to paint for some people. So I'll do that, do how I paint them. Yeah, so I'll try and get that done after I've got 2 commissions that really need to get painted. So once I've finished painting the Conquest stuff that I've got now, I'll paint that. I'll paint the commissions, and then I'll paint the Battletech stuff. At some point, I really want to do a good battle report for that. Maybe here, maybe somewhere else. We've got a group of friends that play Battletech with when I go abroad, or I go to tournaments. So, maybe getting them over. I'll go over them and play a couple of games. So, I want to say good day, happy hobby.